Hi everyone, it's Yulia. Welcome back to Why Change channel. On this channel, we talk about business analysis, data analytics, how to make your project successful, how to develop your BA mindset, and of course, about career. I give a lot of help and tips on how to prepare for interviews, how to make your resume better, how to develop your career. And today, I have this very special topic, which I think is super important for anyone going through job interviews or preparing for job interviews. And it is about how to be memorable. You know what happens when there's a lot of job candidates being interviewed? Those candidates start to blend together, and the most important advantage you can get by preparing well is to become memorable, to bring something to that interview that actually makes your interviewer or recruiter remember you and think of you when they're recommending who to shortlist or who to hire. Now, for some reason, we have a lot of candidates who come to interviews and they don't really think about this part. You know, we all can read the same articles about the most frequently asked questions in job interviews and how to answer them. And a lot of people come and give the same canned answers. And after a while, all of them start to sound the same. Sometimes if I interview, for example, several business analysts, if they all give me those typical generic answers to those job interview questions, it is actually hard to remember who was who and nobody stands out. So what I want to tell you today is that you have to stand out in this world which is competitive and where we have to actually fight for what we want sometimes. It is important for you to stand out, to be memorable, and there are good ways to do it without necessarily saying something that isn't true or without looking insincere. You can be memorable just by thinking of stories and giving some examples and doing something different than other candidates, okay? What I'm going to share today is actually a lesson from my course, my video course called Job Interview Clinic that you can also register for. I will provide information in the comments along with the discount code. Yes, and but today I want to give you that one lesson for free because I truly think it's one of the best advice you can give to any job seeker. Now, my job interview clinic course is for anyone, but I do provide some additional specific examples related to business analysis. So definitely if you're searching for a job in business analysis family, that will also be useful for you. If you want to learn more about business analysis in general in a practical and friendly way in a mentorship setting, join our BA Mindset Mentorship Circle. We meet weekly and we also have a video library membership, and you can watch all the videos of our discussions. We talk about lots of topics from BA techniques and methodology to career to how to deal with difficult stakeholders and with difficult team members. Again, I'll provide more information to you in the comments. And now, without further ado, here is a full lesson on how to be memorable from Job Interview Coaching Clinic. And listen to the end. It's a short lesson. It gives you some ideas on how you yourself can be memorable. Take it to heart and best of success with your career. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. So we are almost done with our course. We just have a couple of things to take care of. And now let's talk about how to be memorable. Imagine you are interviewing for a job along with 9 other candidates. There is 10 of you, and maybe 3 days in a row there are interviews happening. Sometimes the person who is doing the interviewing starts to get fatigued, and the faces and the stories of those candidates start to blend in, and it's hard even to remember which one was which. In these situations, and again, it's not necessarily your fault, maybe it's just the process, and sometimes there is nothing you can do about it. A good interviewer will make notes as they go so that they remember what each candidate said, what was special about them. But what is in your power is to be memorable, to try to present something to your interviewer that will help them remember you specifically. So let's talk about a couple of examples how you can do it, and I'm sure you can come up with your own ideas. But one of the most useful things that can, first of all, help you nail an interview, and secondly, for you to be memorable, is having a professional portfolio. And if you are interviewing for a job where you have to produce things, produce deliverables, like, as we said before, graphic design or business analysis or user experience design, having a portfolio is huge. So as a business analyst, you can include in your portfolio some diagrams, scenario matrices, decision tables, examples of requirements documents, user story maps, anything that demonstrates what you have done before. And if you're interviewing for a specific job with some things highlighted in a job description, you can always go through your portfolio and pick a few things that you think will be most relevant and have them ready. Sometimes it's just a catchy diagram that will make you memorable. Maybe someone will say, oh, I've never seen any business analyst who was just talking about decision trees as if it's the best thing on earth. And they'll remember you, oh, that's a decision tree guy, right? So just give them something to remember. Another one is your experience with specific types of activities. When you show your versatility, when you show your knowledge, maybe you emphasize your rich QA experience. Maybe you emphasize your previous work as a user experience designer, and you mentioned that you're really good at creating prototypes and screen mockups, and that kind of sticks as something gets attached to you. Oh, that's the lady that said she was really good at prototypes and she's shown us some examples. Maybe you have a really in-depth industry knowledge and you can impress them with knowing laws and regulations or recent happenings in the industry, especially for jobs where that understanding of the industry is really crucial. You might stand out by showing off your durable skills, like facilitation skills or dealing with tricky situations. Perhaps one of your stories will stick out. So when you answer those behavioral questions and tell them a story that is actually interesting, maybe with a twist at the end, people are really good at remembering stories. So they might remember you as the person who told them that story. So whatever you do, try to give them something to remember you by, which is not just generic and forgetful, but something easy to remember. And all the previous sections and everything we talked about is going to help you do that. So think stories, think specifics, examples from your projects, examples from your work, special situations, and things that you can actually grasp on. Another aspect of being memorable is tell them something special about you, like maybe your volunteer job. Maybe you speak at webinars, or maybe you volunteer at an organization, especially a professional organization. Maybe you help to organize conferences, or you work as a buddy with newcomers to the country, or you volunteer for your local IIBA chapter. Anything like that, again, can help distinguish you. And finally, if you have an opportunity to connect with your interviewer at a personal level, definitely do that, as long as it is politically correct again and subtle. So if your interviewer mentions a hobby and you can relate to it, then, chat about it for 30 seconds. Say, oh yeah, I really love to do that. Where do you go camping? Oh yeah, I love camping too. Don't make it too much of a big deal out of it. Don't keep, for example, if someone is golfing and you like golfing, don't just keep coming and coming back to it, because then it's going to be too much. But again, those little connections sometimes work. So try to be soft, lighthearted. Imagine you are at a political dinner where you're trying to be friendly with everyone, and use that type of an attitude. Okay, this is it. And finally, in the last section, we will talk about lessons learned and we will summarize.